All right, Mu12 coming back.
Mu12, notably the runner-up in last year's War of '04, back again with the same Blaziken deck.
Yeah, our
Oh, this is
finalist.
we're here. We're here relatively early. It's still 6-6. We got some Pokemon on Benchmark. Nothing's evolved yet, and we
Yeah,
have Mu12 with Blaziken against UCS with some kind of Sceptile deck.
so I actually have been talking with UCS about this deck going into this tournament, so I do know what they are playing. Uh, I will not be talking about specifics, but it is interesting, and this deck does attempt to answer the Blaziken matchup, so I'm curious to see how things will go. I think if you're Mu12, you're already just ecstatic to see a Sceptile deck going into your Blaziken, so I'm sure they're feeling really good here. We'll
Okay,
just
I
have
don't
to
want to
see what
twist.
happens.
I don't want to twist your arm here or anything. I get it. You want to keep things under wraps, but give me a hint here. What can we expect to see out of this Sceptile deck?
All I'm going to say is I received a Discord message very late in the night, about 2 nights ago, that just said Melodic is looking spicy right now. So we'll
Yeah,
have
we
to
did see the
see.
Feebas to play.
Yeah, the Feebas is there. That Milotic, we might be seeing a distorted wave if things can go the way UCS wants, Cara.
Yeah, I do remember back in the day. I did my share of distorted waves playing the Wall Ring deck.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that attack does have some merit.
80
I'm a
damage
big
for
fan of
4 energy.
Sceptile. I'm a big fan of Sceptile as a Pokemon, so I'm really excited to see what's going on here. And I have to be honest here, I don't even know which Sceptile or Sceptile plural that UCS is running. I mean, we could see the Energy Trans Sceptile, we could see Sceptile EX, we could see the Hollow Sceptile that does other stuff.
The
I got the
Lizard Poison
Sceptile
Sceptile.
the Lizard Poison. That's the one.
Yeah, it could be
Sceptile,
anything.
Sceptile never didn't quite hit the levels of Blaziken and Swampert in this format, but I love to see UCS giving it a good attempt. So
Yeah,
there we see Mu12 with that Corsola. That's another big innovation of the modern '04 era. It wasn't a lot of Corsola back in the day, but now people are like, you know what? It's a great thing to strike and run into. Coral Glow helps me get set up. And yeah, we're about to see a big Coral Glow for 4 cards.
it's a great setup Pokemon for
Oh,
situations where you
Sceptile
don't
EX.
want the Dunsparce. There we go. And it's going to one-shot this Corsola, Cara.
Yep, we're gonna see a Poison Ring.
So notably, by the way, while we get into this, so both players are actually 0-1 right now. So the winner of this match will go to 1-1. The loser will go to 0-2, which will be tough for trying to get into top 8. This will be a pivotal game for these players.
Now, I'll say this: I think that UCS was taking a calculated risk here because I mean, theoretically, we could see a Blaziken EX come in and Blaze kick the Sceptile for a whole lot of damage.
Yeah, any attack that Mu12 could pull off on the Sceptile EX would be great. Blaze or Volcanic Ash is the only thing that could one-shot this, and that seems pretty unlikely right now. So I do
Yeah, it
think
would take a
UCS
lot.
has some time to get things going here.
But if I'm UCS, I am not at all comfortable with that risk of a Blaze kick because it's just putting a big pile of damage on that Sceptile. Even if it retreats, it's now at risk of a Volcanic. Oh, and there's the Blaziken EX. It could take a Blaze kick for 60 to 100 damage, and then it could be Volcanic Ash anytime. I do not want to take a super effective hit here.
So if UCS is playing a double Sceptile variant, then we could see a Rare Candy into Energy Trans Sceptile, pull off a Pokemon Nurse to fully heal the EX. But I think ideally, if you're UCS, as soon as you see that Blaziken EX come onto the board, I think he's going to try to pull off the Milotic and start to set up a Distorted Wave to one-shot the EX on Mu12's side. I think for now, we're going to see this Sceptile EX attack again, but you really want to prepare for that possible Blaze Kick or even maybe Volcanic Ash next turn.
Yeah, the UCS at least got a turn to breathe. Did not have to take a Blaze Kick to the face. but now has to. Okay, and yep, switch. There's the Ditto active.
Interesting. What
And we're
attack will they
seeing
copy?
a sudden flash.
Okay, so I don't mind this play. I think you really, really, really want to make Mu12 be the one to put the Blaziken active first, rather than leaving your Sceptile susceptible.
Yeah.
How would you rate that out of 10?
Let's just keep watching.
All right.
You know what I don't like here, though, is we saw that. Oh, never mind. Never mind. I got confused by the display. That Ditto's prismatic body turns every energy cast into effectively a rainbow energy, but that's not actually a rainbow energy in Ditto. That's a grass energy.
Yes, that is significant because UCS is playing actual rainbow energy to attack with the Milotic. If that were a real rainbow energy on the board, they would just be one attachment away from pulling it off. But right now, UCS really needs to see an actual real rainbow energy somewhere on the board if they want to start the pressure with Milotic.
We need it right now to have that Milotic threat live.
Yeah, and now that you have evolved into Sceptile Energy Trans, oh man, I'm worried because I think Volcanic Ash is aimed straight at that Sceptile non-EX that's on the bench right now.
Yeah, and you know, if that happens, there's not a good response ready to go.
No,
I mean there's a Trico, so we could establish another Sceptile, but that could just take another Volcanic Ash, and there's no way for a Milotic to come in and attack with that distorted wave. We really missed an opportunity not getting that rainbow energy into play.
It looks tough right now for UCS. They have been drawing a lot of cards. So 11 cards in hand, they have been able to see cards, which is good. But you don't want your Sceptile EX to be the main attacker when it's staring down a Blaziken EX. I think if you're Mu12 right now, I think there's no reason not to just bide your time and load up as much energy onto the EX as you can. Maybe set up for multiple Volcanic Ashes in a row. Because UCS is not pressuring your board in the slightest right now.
That's that same story that we saw in the Magma matchup. Blaziken just has this incredible inevitability, and you have to put the pressure onto them most of the time. Now, after 2 failed sudden flash flips at a UCS, Mu12 says, "Okay, this is how it's done." Comes in, sudden flash, heads. That's a paralyzed Ditto.
Inevitability is a great word to describe what's happening here with Blaziken. And having to paralyze the Ditto is just salt in the wound at this point.
A 5th energy on the Sceptile EX. We're threatening a slashing strike for 100. Not the most impressive attack in the world especially when you're not hitting for weakness.
See, I think it is a really good attack. It's just most Pokemon don't have more than 100 HP in this format. The bad news for UCS is that the main attacker Mu12 is going to use has 150. And we are so far away from reaching that number.
150 and hits for weakness.
Not good.
Not a good position to be in. I mean, sure, Slashing Strike can take out a Blaziken comfortably, but you can't ever risk it when that Blaziken EX is there.
Yeah, this is kind of the concern for Sceptile. So in my metagame analysis that I posted yesterday, I talked about how I think Sceptile is a very promising deck and it has a lot going for it. But if you want to succeed, you have to dodge Blazikens. And if you are put in this situation against Blaziken, it can be so tough to apply that pressure and win the prize trade and the energy trade.
You know, I admire UCS's audacity with bringing this deck.
How about we call it excitement?
Oh, I think audacity. I mean, it's a bold move to bring Sceptile when Blaziken has shown no sign of slowing down. You know, if Gorbis being everywhere hasn't kept it down, then I mean it's just not going anywhere. I think Blaziken is the deck to beat in this format.
Well, amazingly, according to our limitless metagame analysis, there are only 4 Blaziken players at this event. So
are you fact checking me right now?
Well, what I'm actually saying is that it's surprising. I
It's
expected a
true.
lot more Blaziken. Right now, the metagame is extremely balanced. Magma's at 5, but every other deck caps out at 4 copies maximum in this field. Now, I will say UCS is the only Sceptile we've seen so far. I know of at least one other player who intended to play today and was going to bring Sceptile. Unfortunately, they were not able to end up coming out to the event, but
Too bad.
Sceptile, UCS was not going to be the only one. And right now we
Okay,
see, okay, a Rainbow Energy on my low tick.
I mean, I guess we could see a wave slash.
A
Second
second
Feebas coming
Feebas.
down. I mean, I don't, I don't love exposing Rainbow Energy for such a low impact attack though.
Yeah,
It's kind of in this rough position where UCS is really put in check by Mu12's board. I mean, the Milotic is answered by Volcanic Ash, taking that Rainbow Energy out of contention. The Sceptile EX also answered by Volcanic Ash is really good.
Volcanic Ash is really good, and the worst part is, depending on how many Rainbow UCS plays, even if the Milotic can knock out the Blaziken, it's going to get Volcanic Ash back, and then UCS doesn't have a response to the EX. So we do end up seeing the Wave Splash. I kind of would have hoped to see maybe UCS shuffle some energy around and retreat the Milotic, hold on to that Rainbow Energy, save this attacker for a Blaziken EX. Honestly, even a Sceptile EX Slashing Strike could have been good.
If I am UCS, I'd be putting that Rainbow Energy right on the Sceptile EX because that's the only thing that doesn't go down immediately to a Volcanic Ash under the bench.
Yep.
And I would be doing everything in my power to conserve that Rainbow Energy. But no, the Rainbow Energy hits the discard pile, and now it's a tough position for UCS. I mean, we could see a Slashing Strike for not a knockout. We could see a Poison Ring for not a knockout. I mean, we're just
Poison Ring wouldn't be awful, but the Blaziken with 3 energy on it can just threaten a Volcanic Ash immediately. It wouldn't even need to pull off retreating stuff. Of course, these new Blaziken decks play 4 Warp Energy anyway, so it's pretty likely that Mu12 has all of them. Yeah, this is tough if you're UCS. I think if you're Mu12, you are absolutely loving the position that you're in. Unfortunately, no threats on UCS's side.
I want to say this. I think they kind of gave they kind of did Sceptile dirty in this block because that Energy Trance is a great ability, but Tail Wrap doesn't have much to speak for as an attack. They spread out the good stuff too much on Sceptile. I would have loved to see a stronger attack on that Energy Trance Sceptile so it could hold its own a little bit. I mean, Firestarter Blaziken has the fantastic Fire Stream attack.
Exactly.
Why did Sceptile have to struggle so much?
And I've seen Tail Wrap do 100 damage, but yeah, if the Lizard Poison Sceptile could have swapped that attack with Tail Wrap, well, Lizard Poison would be a lot worse, but it would make Energy Trans more enticing to use.
All I'm going to say is if we look at the Ruby and Sapphire starters, there's a non-hollow starter and a hollow starter. The hollow ones for Swampert and Blaziken are fantastic, and non-hollows are terrible. But they could have just followed that pattern. They could have made the hollow one fantastic, give it Energy Trans and a good attack, and just let the other one just sit there as as binder fodder. But they spread things out of Sceptile, and it makes things harder for our friend here.
Well, the non-hollow Blaziken has 4 for 80. Honestly, better than Lizard Poison's 5 for 70. Oh, they did not like
not
Sceptile.
A lot to write home about.
No, unfortunately.
Okay, I like Sceptile enough for like 5 people at least.
Well, that's more than however many showed up here. So we got to see the one Sceptile. Unfortunately, this is not the matchup you were hoping to hit. And also, if you were expecting to hit it, you would have liked to see slightly better draws if you were UCS, but
Yeah, I
right
mean,
now Mu12.
I think the deck is a cool concept because, I mean, Sceptile EX is a threat against a lot of things. Notably, that big Magma Groudon, weak to grass. And if they could have gotten Rainbow Energy down fast to threaten that distorted wave a lot sooner, I mean, we could have seen a whole different situation. But unfortunately, now it just looks almost insurmountable. And Blaziken is just doing everything.
Yeah, Mu12 targets the energy on UCS's board as well. So really making sure that they have no resources left on the board.
Yeah, that's the downside for Sceptile. Swampert and Blaziken, they energy accelerate. Sceptile can move energy around freely, but you got to hit those attachments, and if you lose the energy, well, you're just down to that attachment per turn.
We've seen Sceptile be paired with Magma Camera as a way to accelerate energy, which actually is like super synergistic because Sceptile EX's Green Heal attack can then heal off the damage that your Camera Up took. I think
Yeah,
Green Heal is the biggest benefit of Sceptile as a Pokemon.
I definitely can't deny that's clever.
But right now, unfortunately, when you have 3 Dunsparce on your bench, which they had to do in order to play the Steven, so it's justified. It's just, again, not what you want to see. Right now, Mu12 does not need a lot in order to pull off the win here. Doesn't look like we're going to get it this turn, though. We're going to get one more turn.
I'll tell you exactly. Oh, are we going to see a Fire Stream?
Oh, and
Pokemon Nurse not taking any chances.
That's disrespectful.
Reload that Blaziken. I mean, they're just saying, okay, is there any way I lose this game? Maybe I can see a world where I lose the game if my Blaziken EX goes down. I'm going to safeguard that, close that door, lock down every possible angle.
Yeah, and
so
that's what you have to do.
I respect that. That's the mark of a good player. Even when they're ahead, they make sure they close off ways that they could lose that lead.
Especially in a tournament. You cannot leave anything to chance right now. It looks
exactly. Mu12 is here to win.
We're just going to finish things off here with a Wave Splash, giving a salutations to my low tick as Mu12 attaches the energy, cleans it up, and wins the Sceptile matchup, going to 1-1 here in the War of 04.